I-60 form is an online application form. I say to people that 80% of the decision of the outcome comes from the completion of your visa. The remaining 20% is when you attend your interview. And for me, I believe the interview is actually for formality purposes, just for them to have a look and then, just have a chat with you. Because really, let's think about it. This interview is not going to be more than a minute or two, maybe 5 minutes max if they need to drill you. So you think a decision can be made in 5 minutes? No. So the majority of the decision has been made at the time of the completion of your visa application. That's the D160 you complete online, and you would have uploaded it before you actually attend this interview. So the completion of the form is very essential, which is why I'm doing this program today. I'm going to be talking about things that you need to note and what you need to look out for. Now, the minute that you're going to spend with the visa issuing officer is going to be crucial. It might be a minute, it might be two, but it's going to be crucial. But before then, I'll talk about the filling of the visa application form. Your DS-160 captures a lot of information, from your personal data to your background information, why you're going on this trip, how long you're going for, where you are going, your educational background, your work history, and all whatnot. So before your interview, you must consider three things, three major key things. I call them the 3P, which is 1, the purpose of travel, 2, the purpose or the proof of your fund, and then 3, the proof of ties. Now, the proof of ties is equally essential because this is what will prove to them that you will indeed actually return back to your home country after your stay. So in short, you must establish with the filling of your application form to the consulate that there is a need for you to travel, which is why I said the purpose of travel. Let's take for instance, some people go to the embassy and the purpose of travel is this: you have a good job, you have a good proof of family ties back in your home country, but then the purpose of travel is absolutely nothing to write home about. So let me give you an example. You have a friend that, because I've noticed this over the years that I've consulted with people, and they just come to you that I want to go to the US, and then you ask them, why would you want to go to the US? And then they will say to you, a friend of mine wants me to come and visit. That sounds really strange to me. Why would your friend come and visit? Because I'm sure that if this your friend, okay, let's say this your friend lives in Bodija and has asked you to come and visit from Akobo, you will think about it. But because it's the US, thousands of miles away, you are ready to up and go. You need a major reason. So some people would say, I'm going for a friend's wedding. This is a friend they haven't seen since high school or university days, and then all of a sudden 10-15 years after that your friend is getting married. Trust me, if that your friend was getting married in Nigeria, you might not even attend, but then you are willing to go and spend thousands of dollars to attend this wedding, or maybe a graduation of a cousin they have never even met. Your purpose of travel must make sense, if you know what I mean, because let's be honest, travel is not cheap. So when you now say someone you don't have a close relationship with, you are looking to go and spend thousands of dollars. Let's look at the exchange rate. It's like $8.50 to $1 now, and then you are looking to spend like $3,000 on a trip for a cousin's graduation that you have never met. If I was the visa issuing officer, I would definitely give you a no-no. So that is looking to give me an invite. Don't just hop off on a plane or just say, oh, I'm going to do this, and then just jeopardize your chances of getting a visa the right way. So because someone is looking to invite you doesn't mean that you have to go or you have to take it up. Look for a good purpose to go. And this is where I will talk back about like 3-4 weeks ago. I talked about building travel history, because if you indeed build a travel history and you are used to traveling, and then you say you want to go for a cousin's graduation or a friend's wedding, it might not sound so out of place because you are used to traveling anyway. So they will just think you're going for tourism purposes. which is why I'll go back to the DS-160 form again. I say it and I'll say it again. The completion of that form is very essential because it goes a long way. The completion of this form, they would have asked you for your travel history in the last 5 years, some in the last 10 years. So if you're able to state that I've been to this place and this place in the last 5 years, it won't sound so strange if you're just, and that's the sponsorship. Now, some people can say, oh yes, someone is sponsoring me. I can sponsor my parent and my parent can sponsor me, vice versa. But by the time you have a full-grown man and a full-grown woman and they have someone sponsoring the trip abroad for vacation, this person is not their husband or the significant other, then it's a big deal. Because I can just imagine a grown woman or a grown man saying I'm going on vacation for a couple of weeks and my uncle is going to be sponsoring my trip. That is a red flag over there. Because as a grown person, you're expected to have a gainful employment. So why would anybody want to sponsor your lavish vacation for 2 weeks? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. So please, before proof of funds is, even if you don't have enough closing balance in your bank account, but you have a very beautiful salary, I'll put it that way, then you can get away with it. I remember for me, I think it was in 2008, I just started work then, and of course I had a travel history because I'd been traveling, and it was easy for me to just go to the UK embassy then with a closing balance of like 300 and something thousand, because they saw that I had the backup document of my payslip, my appointment letter, and of course they saw that I had an attractive salary, and my closing balance didn't really matter because it's a beautiful salary. Why would anybody want to leave this salary and then just go and get stranded in the United Kingdom? So I would say for proof of funds, make sure you have a legit reason before you start saying that. For proof of family ties, there are so many things you can use to prove family ties. You can, if you're married, you can say you're married, and then of course you back up your document with your marriage certificate. If you have children, you can put your children's birth certificate to show that you are indeed going to return to your family. And of course, in your bank statement, you must have had the in and out transactions of you maybe giving upkeep to your wife. It shows that you're responsible, you take care of them at home, so you're not leave and jackpot like a lot of run to jackpot this day. So you really have to prove that. If you're a student, you can use that as well. And what you do is you use your letter of admission. You can get a note from school, maybe your HOD or your faculty head, saying, oh, you're indeed in this level, you're doing well in school, you return after your vacation, you're just going for a short period. If you're in the career path, you can get a letter of appointment from work, you can get your pay slip, your leave, communication with the HR, and all of that. And then if you're going to be going for maybe a business training, a seminar, a conference, you must have proof of that event. You can't just say, oh, okay, I'm a lawyer and I hear female lawyers are having a conference in the United States, and I'll just...
Are you there? Do you wish to improve your business and take control of your career? And yes, do business with Honor FM 103.5 in Ibadan. And you will thank me immensely, for honor and integrity is our watchword at Honor FM in Ibadan.
Thank you for staying tuned. You're now back to Honor 103.5. Few minutes go looking to approve your visa application. So they're looking for all the red lights, all the red flags, reasons to deny you. And a lot of us make mistakes and we give them more reasons to deny us. The first reason I'm going to talk about today is fear. For some people, their attitude going for the interview, their posture, the way they stand, the lack of confidence in their courage, it goes a long way to show the visa issuing officer. A lot of people just get scared just seeing the visa issuing officer. I know it can be tough. Actually happened to my brother. He had been to the US consulate once to apply for a B1, B2, and then he got denied. And he decided to try like a year later, Unfortunately for him, I'll say again, while he was in line waiting to be called, he realized that he was going to be interviewed yet again by the same visa issuing officer that denied him the last year. And of course, him once he returns. Of course, he was, if you are going to attend any interview, please do not be scared. What I do is, okay, you happened, and then next thing she complimented me as well. She was like, oh, and that's a beautiful brooch you have there. And of course, from there, it was easy peasy all the way. She didn't even ask me so many questions. She was just like, oh, wow. So I see you do a lot of traveling. I see you do this. And that was it for that. It's very annoying. Please do not do that. Try to be confident and don't let your fear show, because these people are psychologists. They are trained to see if you are scared, and they have reasons not to want to give you the visa. So when you're standing in front of them, show your confidence. The second I would say is, do not decide who you want to or who you do not want to interview you. A lot of people go to the embassy and they see kiosk with, so I'm sure it has happened to all of us before. If you have gone for an actual interview, you will notice that there is a particular kiosk, and at that kiosk, maybe you have 10 applicants go to that particular kiosk, and you just have only one of them smile back with a positive response. The others had been denied. If you think that you want to go to the next person that you think is issuing and you want to skip the line, like I said, they would have seen you because they look out for you anyway. They're watching you, they're watching your moves. Like I said, they're psychologists, and if you try to skip the line, they can see this, and you too, you obviously be relieved that you have skipped the line. So by the time you get in front of the visa issuing officer, they will be able to tell that you want them to actually interview you, and that might get you into a lot of trouble. So don't decide who you do not want to interview you. Number 3, I would say don't talk too much. Nigerians, this is not about the embassy alone. Even this is about a point of entry. Anytime you're dealing with the white folks, please do not talk too much. Just answer only the questions you have been asked. Do not give too much information. Some people divulge too much information. And one thing I've noticed from the people I've talked to over the years is, maybe it's to show off or to show that they're confident, and they keep talking like, oh, I've got this, I know how to run this. And I'll tell you another quick story. It actually happened to my brother again, but another one. He only just got back from the UK the day before, and he had an interview, a B1, B2 at the United States consulate. And then, of course, he got there the next day, and the interviewing officer asked him, why would you want to visit the United States? Like I said, they show off when you talk too much. And he said, oh, I just got back from UK yesterday, and I just thought I should go to the US. Of course, that was it from there. She was like, oh, interesting. Wow, okay. And I don't even think she asked him any more question after that. He's actually been to the United States after that. But of course, he learned the hard way that you do not talk too much, you do not try to show off. They are not impressed. Don't forget, I say, they are trying to look for ways not to grant you that visa. So do not try to show off. Another thing I would say is, do not show any document until you are asked for that document. A lot of people are jumpy. For example, okay, I'm going and someone is sponsoring me, and then they ask me, who is responsible for this trip? And then you go like, it's my uncle, and then you start bringing out bank statements. In that bank statement, they might see red lights saying that your uncle has never even given you a dime before. Why is this sponsoring your trip abroad? So I always say, don't do that. Then I would say the last one is lack of clear communication. Some people go for visa interviews and they actually have a fantastic 3 P's. They have the purpose of travel, they have the proof of funds, they have the proof of ties. But then because they cannot communicate clearly, half of the time the visa issuing officer is not even hearing what they are saying or understanding it. So I would say, when you go for your visa application or when you go for your interview, you speak clearly, You speak loudly but do not shout. Speak simple English. They do not need vocabularies. They are Americans, they speak English and they understand that you speak English. Just use plain simple English. Most of the time there's nothing wrong when you don't hear what they say to say to them politely, can you please repeat that question, or can you come again? But a lot of us get scared and we can't ask them to repeat themselves, and we just answer a question we didn't even hear properly and then give wrong answers. So all of these are reasons for your visa to be denied. So I would say before you go for your B1, B2 visa interview, try to take a look at all of this that I've talked about and try to cross your T's and dot your I's. Our phone lines will be opening soon, and I will drop the numbers for you to call if you have any questions you want to ask me today. The numbers are 091-510-35555. The full Yoruba attire with agbada and gele and